The neighborhood I grew up in was like predominantly black, but they hated Africans. Like I wasn't a kid that just figured out how to be cool. I would like study my peers, and I think that's why I became a comedian. I'm Rwandan. I moved here in the late 80s with my family, but my mom moved here and she was like already in her late 20s, early 30s. You know what I mean? Like she's been through a lot, racism, xenophobia. She was pregnant with my siblings when we came, but she's endured all of that, which is so much strength and grace. But she raised me in the West End weekly, I'll call her, and I'm like, Mom, I wake up Sandy's morning and I do know what? It's gross, you know, how dare I, you know, but she's so supportive, you know, she's a great mom, a devoted Catholic. She's always like, oh no, have you prayed? And I'm always like, I'm agnostic, so maybe. She f***ing hates that joke. But you know who does love it? God. And I know that because I'm not dead yet.
I didn't feel with people, no matter the color, how I felt when I was alone. My family pulled together money to send me to a Montessori school for elementary. I went to a Catholic junior high and high school, and I went to a private college. So I've been surrounded by white people my whole life when I was educated, and surrounded by black people when I went home or in my neighborhood or wherever. So I've bridged this gap before.
Ever since I was a kid and my voice changed, I've been told by people all over the country, people of different ethnicities, backgrounds, I've been told by people that I have an incredibly white voice. That's what they say. And people try to act like they can't hear it, but if I called and then showed up, you'd be surprised. Like, even my laugh is like, like every time I laugh, someone somewhere gets audited.
You know, there's this whole thing of you don't sound black, you sound white sounding, whatever. A lot of those comics get that, whereas I don't, because I'm like, I'm from England. This is how I can talk. Take it or leave it, you know? Because I'm like, we're all black. We're all from the same place. We've all had similar experiences. Some of us are gonna sound differently. Some of us have gone to different schools. Some of us have been brought up in different places. I don't understand why there's this whole thing, you don't sound like us, so you ain't one of us.
People might perceive somebody's blackness as not authentic versus someone else's, but I think that's a mistake, and I think it's a reduction of what it means to be black, and also it insults the intelligence of black audiences. The idea that, you know, blackness is monolithic and looks a certain way, that's not true. But blackness is blackness, and I love that we're in a space where you have variances.
My parents are not very into feminism. They're very Christian, very conservative. Yes, black people can be ignorant too. My dad especially, he's like, you women with your yelling and your reading and your voting, you know, and I get it, but you know, feminism, it's not an option. It's vital if we want our society to improve in any regard, not just for women, like regardless of gender at all. Yeah, like for real, I shouldn't have to look in the mirror and hate myself because of the patriarchy and the male gaze, you know? Like, I should be able to look in the mirror, look at myself right in the eyes and hate myself because I'm a piece of shit and I deserve it, you know? It's like one for me.
What's it mean to be real? There are people that'll say, oh, this person isn't real because they ain't from the streets. That's not what that means. Am I not as real as some of my friends that are in jail right now? That makes no sense.
When I was on the Chappelle show, I was the one who created this sketch called Keeping It Real Goes Wrong. I was looking at my life and the people I knew, and every time I heard someone say something about keeping it real and selling out, the definition of selling out, yo, that dude sold out, he got married, he got a wife, he got kids, he got a white picket fence, but all the keep it real shit was like, yo, remember Ray? He kept it real, he stabbed his mother, he doing 20 years. So if your definition of keeping it real is doing something negative, something that leads to violence, something that leads to you being incarcerated, guess what? I will not be the mother that keep it real. I mean, it's hard to say, like, what's real and what's not real. I think it's what speaks to your truth.